Hey everybody, it's your boy Mo Money Incorporated and his youngest son Yoshe. Today we will be searching this box of circulated pennies, and let me tell you, it looks pretty good right away because I see a Wheatie ender right there and also right there. So we have at least 2 Wheaties in this box and hopefully a lot more. Speaking of Wheaties, Yoshe, how many Wheaties do you think will be in this box?
14.
14. I'm going to go with 17. So let's start the hunt and let's see who's right and who's wrong. All right, Yoshe, we're going to open up roll number 1 and we're going to do it live. Let's see if we get off to a good start. All right, spread these out a little bit so I can see what's happening here. We're going to be looking for Wheaties. Last box, we found an Indian head, which was really cool. Speaking of Wheaties, there's Wheatie number 1 and Wheatie number 2 right next to each other. I don't anticipate finding an Indian head penny, but we also had a box that contained 25% copper, and I don't think we'll hit that number either, but you know what? We won't know until we finish searching. All right, well, that's roll number 1, and we already have 2 Wheaties. So our first roll had first the 1946 S. So I love starting off with an S mint mark. Yoshe, here's the second penny. Put that under the scope for the people. The second one, nothing special, a 1957 out of Philly. Let's continue our hunt, and we'll come back to the scope on our next find. And we're back with roll number 3, producing a 1951 out of Philly. 3 rolls, 3 wheat pennies. Let's continue. Roll number 4 produces Wheatie number 4, a 1953 D out of Denver. Roll number 5 has produced 2 Wheaties, a 1944 out of Philly, and Yoshe, a 1953 out of Philly. That's 6 Wheaties in 5 rolls. Will this box stay hot? Stay tuned. Roll number 6 has given us our 7th Wheatie, only a 1958 out of Philly, but we'll take it. This box continues to stay hot with the ender being a 1941 out of Philly. That is our 8th Wheatie in 7 rolls. Roll number 8 produces a 1944 out of Denver, which makes our 9th Wheatie of the box. We're finding a lot of Wheaties, Yoshe, but we need to get some under 1940. Well, we're in roll number 11, and we have found our 10th wheat penny, a 1940 out of Philly. This reminds me, if anyone wants to box battle me in either pennies or nickels, you know where to call. Call Mo Money. Email me at coolcoins2014@gmail.com. Roll number 13 finally brings us into the 30s with a 1939 out of Philly. Not bad condition either, I might add. Roll number 14 explodes with 6 wheat pennies. The first one being a 1946 out of Philly. The second one being a 1955 out of Philly. The third one being a 1956 out of Philly. The fourth one being a 1957 out of Philly. The fifth one being a 1958 out of Philly. And the last one being a 1958 D out of Denver. Yoshe, go back to that one before that. Look at the condition of that 1958 out of Philly. Nice red tone to it. Some people might even call it a blazer. I'm not really sure. Leave me a comment and tell me what you think. Roll number 16 brings us 2 more Wheaties. We must be in some kind of Wheatie dump or something, because we're already up to Wheatie number 18, which is a 1939 out of Philly. And the second one in that roll, nothing special. It was a 1958 D out of Denver. That's 2 from 1939 for the box. Roll number 17 produces our third Wheatie from the 30s. This time it's a 1935 out of Philadelphia. Roll 18 produces twins, as the first one is a 1951 out of Philly. The second one, nothing special. It's a 1957 out of Denver. But that makes 22 Wheaties in 18 rolls. Roll number 19 produces another set of twins and our fourth Wheatie from the 30s. This time it's a 1937 out of Philly. The second one, just a 1944, which I'm sure we'll find a couple more of those before the box is over. Roll number 20 produces our 25th Wheatie out of the box. A 1958 out of Denver. As you can see, through the first 25 Wheaties, we don't find too many from Denver or San Francisco. So if you have Wheaties that are earlier than 1940 and they're D mints or S mints, I would love to buy them or trade for them. Roll number 21 produces yet another Wheatie out of Philly. This time it's a 1945. Roll number 22 produces triplets this time. We start off with the 1944 out of Denver. The second one was a 1945 out of Denver. And the third one was a 1952 out of Philly. That makes 29 Wheaties in 22 rolls. Our 24th roll produces 2 more Wheaties. The first one, a 1948 out of Denver. And the second one, a 1950 out of Philly. That makes 31 Wheaties for the box. We're going to do roll number 25 live because there's just so many Wheaties in this box. We're up to 31 Wheaties. This is out of order. 31 Wheaties so far, and Yoshi was like, you know what, no one's going to believe you that you're finding all these Wheaties, but we're definitely in the middle of a Wheatie dump. Let's see if we can find one live for you. And there it is. There's one. Let's see if this roll has any friends. Let me stretch these pennies out a little bit. And basically what I do is I just flip them all over, in case this is the first time you're watching me search. I flip them all over on the tail side and see if I see any Wheaties. I pull out any 2009s, any Canadians, and I don't really film the 2009s and Canadians unless the Canadians are really old. It doesn't look like we have any friends this time, but we'll go to the scope and see what this one Wheatie was. There you go, Yoshi. Put that on the scope for the people. Switch over to the scope if you will. I don't even know what it was. I didn't even look. It's another one from 1950 out of Philly. So that makes our 32nd penny in 25 rolls. Roll 29 brings us our 33rd Wheatie of the box, a 1955 out of Philly. Roll number 31 produces our 34th Wheatie of the box, a 1956 out of Philly. Roll number 32 brings us another set of twins. The first one, nothing special, a 1944 out of Philly. The second one, however, is a 1949 out of Philly. Check out the condition. Yoshi, move it up a little bit so you can see the gunk on the right here on the lower left neckline. You see that little gunk there, but flip it over now. That's a nice looking Wheatie from 1949. Nice red coloring to it. So I'm going to see if I can remove that gunk from it and hopefully make it a little nicer. I don't really like to clean coins, but in this case I want to add this one to my album. We're going to open up another roll live. I don't want to make this video too long, but as you can see, we're already up to 36 Wheaties in this box. And you know, at some point Yoshi was like, oh, no one's going to believe that you found all these Wheaties in one box. So I'm going to try to do one live for you and see if we have any live roll magic. Stretch these out and let's begin this roll. There it is again, Yoshi. One Wheatie. Let's see if it's got any friends. Oh, I thought we had friends, but no. Yes, we have friends. We have a friend anyway. And we have friends. Triple. So this is definitely someone's dump back into the bank, but I will gladly take their dump. It's roll number 33 produced triplets, as I said before. The first one being a 1934 out of Philly. The second one being a 1956 out of Denver. And the last one being a 1956 out of Philly. That makes 37, 38, and 39 Wheaties for the box, with 17 rolls to hunt. Roll number 34 produces another set of triplets, the first one being a 1941 out of Philly. The second one being a 1945 out of Philly. And the last one being a 1946 out of Philly. Roll number 35 produces 4 more finds. The first one not being a Wheatie, it's a 1956 out of Canada. The second find was a 1945D. Next we go to a 1949 out of Philly. And we finish off with a 1954 out of Denver. Yoshi just told me this is the box that keeps on giving. We're in roll number 36 and we have 2 more Wheaties to show off. The first one being a 1944 out of Philly. The second one being a 1958 out of Philly. That makes 47 Wheaties found in 36 rolls. Alright, let's do another live roll, Yoshi. See if we can continue to find these Wheaties. We're trying to get over 50 at this point, which is just incredible. This is the best penny box I've ever had as far as number of Wheaties. Now we just need to get a couple younger ones. Got a couple, I think we're up to 5 from the 1930s, which is awesome. But I would love to find one from the 20s, if not a teen. So let's see what happens. Will this be a roll without Wheaties? It's possible. Yeah, that's what it looks like. Well, that just goes to show you that not every roll in this box has Wheaties, but we'll continue our hunt and we'll bring you our next find. Roll number 38 brings us 2 more Wheaties. The first one, a 1957 out of Denver. And the second one, a 1957 out of Philly. That makes 49 Wheaties for the box. We need 1 more for an even 50. Well, folks, we've officially cracked 50 Wheaties per the box. This is our 40th roll, and we had 4 finds, the first one being a 1945 out of Philly. The second one being a 1952D. The third one being a 1952 out of Philly. And the last one being a 1958D. That makes 53 Wheaties for the box. Roll number 41 produces 3 more finds. Usually a Lincoln Cent box will run hot and cold. This box has remained hot the entire box. 3 more finds, the first one being a 1956 out of Philly. The second one being a 1957 out of Denver. The third one being a 1957 out of Philly. We're not done yet. Roll number 42 produces triplets. The first one being a 1947 out of Philly. The second one being a 1956 out of Philly. And the third one being a 1956 out of Philly. That makes 59 Wheaties in 42 rolls. Where will it stop? Who knows? Roll 43 produces the 60th. That's right, I said 60th Wheatie of the box. A 1936 out of Philly. Can we make it to 75? Probably not, but let's see where it ends. Roll number 43 produces yet another 1958 out of Philly. Time to do another live roll. Let's see if our luck continues. There we go. I think we have a shot. It's got some nice brown coloring that I'm seeing. Let's see what we got. Is that one? Yes, sir. We got 1. Do we have 2? We have 2. Do we have 3? Let's go. We have 3. Do we have 4? Come on, let's go. Keep them coming. I see 4. We got 4. Do we have 5? We have 5. Do we have 6? This is ridiculous. We're going to finish with 5 that roll. 5 Wheaties in 1 roll. I see some people have a box that has 5 Wheaties. Let's go to the scope and see what these 5 Wheaties were. Roll 45 brought us 5 more Wheaties. As you can see, we're now in the 1920s decade, with 1928 being the first find. The second find, a 1941 out of Philly. The third one being a 1953. The fourth one, a 1956 out of Philly. And the fifth one also being 1956 out of Philly. We have a shot at 75 Wheaties in 1 box. Roll number 46 brings us 3 more Wheaties. The first one being a 1940 out of Philly. The second one being a 1944. And the last one being a 1956 out of Philly. Roll number 47 brings us our 70th Wheat of the box, a 1951 out of Denver. Can we make it to 75? We're going to do the last 3 rolls live and find out. Alright, Yoshi, we're at 70 Wheaties, and as you can see, we have 3 more rolls to search. Let's see if we can get up to 75 Wheaties. Just keep the camera going. I'm running out of space to really search for these Wheaties. Never found so many in 1 box. Let's find out if we make it or not. There's one more. Put that off to the side for a minute. See if it's got any friends. We're at 71. I think we're gonna make it. Alright, let's see. There's another one, 72. Let's keep the camera going. I'm going to give you these Wheaties, Yoshe. You can put them under the scope for me. And I'll get the next roll ready. I didn't even look at what those dates were, so it will be a surprise. First one being a 1956 out of Denver. And the second one being a 1956. Boy, that 1956 year keeps showing up over and over. Alright, let me put them into place. We need 3 more Wheaties out of 2 rolls. Let's see what we can do. Alright, let's spread these out. Yoshe, tell me if my pennies are in frame or not. I know we're running out of room, like I said. Adjust the camera if you want. There you got one more. Okay, here we go. Any friends? Ooh, there's a friend. Alright, that's 74. Oh, and 75. We have made 75 Wheaties. There were 3 Wheaties in that roll, and we still have 1 roll to search. Yoshe, I'm going to hand you these 3 Wheaties. Put them under the scope. Switch over to the scope, if you will. The first one of those Wheaties, a 1944. We've seen that year before. The next one, a 1958, for sure, we've seen that one. And a 1940, I believe we've also seen that year as well. We have 1 more roll, but we have made 75 Wheaties in 1 box. Will it stop at 75? Let's find out. Come on. All right, let's see if there's any in this roll. Well, we might be done. Might be done at 75, which is an incredible number. Yep, that's where it's going to end, folks. 75 Wheaties in 1 box. I think we had 6 from the 30s and 1 from the 20s. I'll take a box like that any day. Stay tuned for the final wrap-up. We're going to find out how much copper was in this box. We're going to find out how many 1959s there were. If there's any varieties, I'll make sure to show them as well. Hey everybody, it's Mo Money Incorporated, and here's the wrap-up for box number 2. We had 8 2009s. We had at least 1 of each type of the 2009s. Starting us off is the early childhood penny. Next, we have the formative years. After that, we have the professional life. And finally, we end up with the presidency. Some of these pennies were a little better than others. Really, unless they're absolutely mint-like shape, I throw them all back, but I just wanted to show you the 4 different types of 2009 pennies. Next, I want to show you how many we had two 59Ds. Yoshe, here's the 59Ds. You just show one of them off. All right, and then we also had two 59s. Okay. Next, we had a couple S-Mint marks that I wanted to show you. We had a 1970 S-Mint. We had two 1972 S-Mints, just show one. A 1973 S-Mint. And one 1974 S-Mint. This box gave us 7 more Canadian cents, but I just want to show this top one. Check it out, 1956. Flip that over on the other side, Yoshe. A young Queen Elizabeth right there. All right, I believe they call that a young head. Okay, next we had, get this, I said in the video we had 75 Wheaties. No. I actually found one more to make 76 Wheaties in the box, and I'm just going to show you the highlights. Yoshe, get that off there. Here's first up. A 1928 out of Philly. Next. A 1939. Fucking wrong order. Cut. Okay, so we're back to the scope to show off not 75 Wheaties, but 76 Wheaties in one box. Yes, I found another one when I was going through all the varieties. 76 Wheaties in one box. Don't worry, I don't plan on showing all 76 of them. Only going to show off the highlights. As you can see, we have the 1928. Let's get a little bit of a closer look on that. Get this in focus. 1928 out of Philly. Next, we have a 1934 out of Philly. Followed by a 1935 out of Philly. Yes, let's keep it going. 1936 out of Philly. Followed by 1937 out of Philly. No 38s, but we did have two 39s. There's the first one. And there's the second one. It would have been nice if these had been D-mints or S-minted wheat pennies, or wheat cents, however you want to say it. But 76 wheat cents in one box, that is like unheard of. So I will take a box like that every time I search pennies. This is Mo Money Incorporated saying thank you for tuning in to today's coin video. It was our box number 2 hunting pennies. I'm really looking forward to doing our next box. Yoshe, nice work on the scope. I really want you to encourage you to go over and check out Yoshe's channel. He's just starting out, so any subscribers is greatly appreciated. This is Mo Money saying I hope you have a great day, and I hope you join us for box number 3, which should be coming out early this coming week.